the Arab, he was indeed a true prophet of the one God, like Abraham alayhi salam, like Moses alayhi salam. At that moment they will recognize that the Quran is the word of the one true God, who sent the Torah, who sent Injil, who sent the Torah, Injil, Zabur. And now he said, the Quran, it is the word of the one true God. And that this man, the son of Maryam, was not, was not a bastard, was not a false pretender, that this is indeed the true Messiah. And then they will die, knowing that they're going into the hellfire. This is how history will repeat itself. Who are they? Banu Israel, the Jewish people. Those Jewish people who are oppressing us, waging war on Islam, and who created the oppressor state of Israel. This is the countdown, beginning around 1897. This is the countdown period. But Akhir Zaman did not begin with the recovery of the body of Fir'aun. No, sir. Akhir Zaman started before that. And one of the primary goals of the enemy in Akhir Zaman was the destruction of the Islamic Khilafah. Because once Muslims had the Khilafah, they were a united community. There was no such thing as Algerian nationalism and Moroccan nationalism and Egyptian nationalism and Pakistani nationalism and all that nonsense. إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ. We were a united community under a leader. And therefore, we had power. We had power when we were united. And once we remain united with the Khilafah, Israel could never have been created. In order to create Israel, they had to destroy the Khilafah. And the city of Constantinople played a significant role in the destruction of Khilafah. How? The Khilafah that Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam left us was in the city in which he was buried, Medina. Today, that city is forgotten. It plays no role in the affairs of the Arabian Peninsula, none at all. The politics of the Arabian Peninsula, the strategic affairs of Jaziratul Arab, what role that Medina plays? Zero. It plays no role whatsoever in affairs of the world of Islam. Nothing. Kuala Lumpur plays a more important role than Medina. Medina is forgotten. Umran Bayt al-Maqdis, Qarabu Yathrib. When Jerusalem will be flourishing, said Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, Medina will be in a state of forlorn desolation. Qarabu Yathrib. What role does Medina play in world affairs today? Any role at all? None. So first of all, you take the Khilafah out of Medina, out of Hijaz. So Hijaz is no longer the center of the world of Islam with the Hajj and the Haramain. So they took it to Damascus, Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And then they took it to Baghdad. And then the Fatimids took it to Cairo. And then it was taken to Spain by a breakaway branch of the Umayyah. But it was still Arab. It was still Arab. and Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam was an Arab. And the early Muslims, the Salaf, they are the ones who said, Khilafah belongs to Quraysh. I didn't say so. And the Ummah agreed with that. This was the collective wisdom of the Ummah of Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, that Khilafah belonged to the Quraysh. Because the Quraysh had control over the house of Allah, the Kaaba. He said, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, the best of those who came from Ismail alayhi salam were the Kinana. And the best of those who came from the Kinana were the Quraysh. And the best of those from the Quraysh, Banu Hashim, and I am the best of Banu Hashim. And so Quraysh had a noble status, a very noble status, as the best of those who had come from Ismail alayhi salam to the Kinana. And then the tragedy occurred. A mysterious tragedy occurred. And Islamic scholarship has to do some homework now to explain it. That the people came out of Central Asia, Turkish people, with a mysterious power. And they were able to defeat the Byzantine Empire in the 13th century. And with that defeat, the Byzantine Empire was now shaking. And then they were successful in conquering Constantinople. And when they conquered Constantinople in the 16th century, I think it was 14 something? 1453, MashaAllah, thank you. This is Masjid Gufran, remember that? 1453. He said, this is the fulfillment of the prophecy of Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. لَتَفْتَحَنَّ الْقُسْتَنْتِنِيَّةِ, said the Prophet alayhi salatu. Notice, he's using the name Constantinia. You will most certainly conquer Constantinople. وَنِعْمَ الْأَمِيرُ آمِرُهَا. What a wonderful commander will command our army. وَنِعْمَ الْجَيْشُ ذَلِكَ الْجَيْشُ. What a wonderful army that would be, which will conquer Constantinople. And then the claim was made by the Ottomans, the Osmanli, that we are the ones about whom the hadith is speaking. That Sultan Muhammad Fatih is the man that the Prophet ﷺ praised. They will be listening to this lecture in Turkey, yeah? We say no, you're wrong. The conquest of Constantinople is still to come. And then, having conquered the city, if you go back to my lecture that I delivered at International Islamic University on the conquest of Constantinople in Akhir Zaman, you'll get all the portions that I'm leaving out in this lecture about what they did when they conquered the city and so on. And then, with this newfound power, they established what they call an Islamic government, and they became Sultan. But then they headed this way, for Arabia. And within 100 years or so they conquered Mecca and Medina. That was their target. So once they conquered Mecca and Medina, they can now make the claim, if they want, that we are Khalifa, which they eventually did. And then the world of Islam chose to recognize that this was a genuine Khilafah in Istanbul. It was not. The structure was there of Khilafah, but it was a bogus Khilafah. It was a bogus Khilafah. And it meant to serve a mysterious mission in the process of the destruction of Khilafah. Because now Khilafah is born from the Arab world for the first time in history. To bring back the Khilafah to the Arab world is not possible. The enemy would not allow it. Would not allow it. And so they held the Khilafah until the forces of Zionism decided, now we don't need you anymore. You've served us enough. This is strange language that I'm using. The world of Islam is not accustomed to this kind of language. The enemies decided, we don't need the Ottomans anymore. They have served us sufficiently. Because during these 500 to 600 years that they ruled over Konstantinopolj and Turkey and the other territories of the Ottoman Empire, they did something of crucial importance for Western Europe. They fought war after war after war after war with Russia. So many wars against Russia I can't count. Russia became enemy number one of the Ottomans. And if Turkey is today a member of NATO and will never leave NATO, it's because Turkey is afraid of Russia. That's why they're in NATO. This is their insurance policy, because Russia today is powerful. This taking the Khilafah out of the Arab world and setting the stage for the destruction and elimination of the Khilafah is one half of the story, and the other half is the constant attack, brutal attacks on that part of Christianity that I remarked last night, that there are two branches of Christianity. One is the Eastern Orthodox Christians, who are referred to in the Quran, and there's a whole surah of the Quran named after them. It is Surah Al-Rum. Everybody knows Surah Al-Rum. And Allah speaks in a positive way about Rum in the Quran. Holy battle Rum. Remember? They have been defeated, but soon they're going to overcome. Who is Rome? Who is Rome? I say Rome was the Byzantine Empire. If you want to say that Rome is the Anglo-American Israeli NATO alliance, and people want to believe that rubbish, because that is what it is, I can't help that. Rome is Byzantium, Eastern Christianity. The Roman Catholic Church, which just lost its Pope, I believe they lost the Pope, is Western Christianity. And of course, I hope they will not mind my saying it, they got to appoint another Pope. But for some strange and mysterious reason, a Pope always has to be a European. I wonder why. Ever had a Malay Pope? Ever had an Arab Pope? Ever had an Indian Pope? Ever had an African Pope? The Pope always has to be, excuse my language, a white man. That is the bogus part of Christianity. And this is the more authentic part of Christianity, Byzantium. And when the city of Constantinople was conquered, this was the heart of Byzantium, this was the heart of Rome. And then Rome went to Moscow.